Hello! Today we will talk about the new abilities and powers that are ruining the game this season. Since these powers were added, the game has turned into something else. It's no longer about movement skill or reaction time. Now, everything is based on overpowered abilities. I understand that this might attract more new players. But what about the OG and veteran players? Are we just going to let them get beaten by bots using overpowered powers? We've already seen this happen before, like with the newer shotguns or the old dual Uzi, where skill wasn't really required, and even low-skill players could dominate just by using those weapons aggressively. The same thing is happening now with these abilities. Basically, they could have added a mode where there are no powers at all, just the vanilla game. But instead, they chose not to. They kept all the modes with powers and removed the simple one until the next event. Because of this, veteran players are left with only two options. Either quit the game entirely, at least until something better is added, or adapt and lower themselves to using these overpowered abilities that don't represent their playstyle. This season will be a very difficult one for veteran players. Think about it. Many of the new players have already chosen for these rival abilities to receive a buff instead of the nerf they clearly deserve. What are we even talking about at this point? What's the purpose of the game when there are abilities that are basically one tap, one kill, like a one-punch, one-shot mechanic? I'm not saying that beginners don't deserve to get kills or even play the game. What I'm saying is that these abilities don't really help players develop actual skill. In the long run, they're not very useful because sooner or later they'll be removed or changed. I know something new will always replace them. That always happens. But you can't rely on things like that forever, can you? Over the years, we've had plenty of great exclusive events that were well balanced for all players. So what changed? Do they just not care anymore? Is making money their only priority now? This season alone has 2 collaborations, and they're constantly releasing more Evo and Eternal skins one after another. Is the game slowly dying, and are they just trying to squeeze out as much money as possible before it's too late? What do you guys think? What's the biggest problem with the game right now? I still believe there's a chance the developers can make meaningful changes to the gameplay, and I really hope it happens sooner rather than later. Because right now, the game just isn't as fun or enjoyable anymore. It has lost that feeling because of these overpowered new events. Now that we're halfway through the video, I'd like to remind you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description for my TikTok and Discord server. Let's get back to the topic. I'm not saying these collaborations shouldn't exist. Crossovers can be exciting and bring new players into the game. The problem starts when the collaboration abilities become so powerful that they completely change how the game is played. Instead of rewarding good positioning, aim, and decision-making, they reward pressing a single button at the right moment. That lowers the skill gap, and in my opinion, that's not healthy for a competitive game. Think about it. How many fights have you lost not because your opponent played better, but because they activated one of these abilities? It doesn't feel like you got outplayed. It feels like you had no real chance to respond. The one-punch collaboration already showed us how frustrating overpowered event abilities can be. Now the new Rivals collaboration is doing something similar, and it feels like the developers still haven't learned from the previous feedback. What worries me the most is that this could become the new standard. Every new collaboration has to be stronger than the last one to keep players interested. If that keeps happening, where does it end? Bloodstrike became popular because of its fast, skill-based gameplay. If every season adds another overpowered mechanic, the game slowly moves away from what made it fun in the first place. At the end of the day, a competitive game should make every victory feel earned and every defeat feel like a learning experience. If you lose because of poor positioning, missed shots, or because your opponent simply made better decisions, it's frustrating, but you can learn from it and improve the next time. But when you lose because your opponent presses a single button and activates an ability that completely removes your chance to fight back, it feels different. It doesn't feel like you were outplayed. It feels like you were beaten by an overpowered mechanic. That's the difference. And I'm not just talking about experienced players. Even for beginners, these abilities can create the wrong idea of how the game is supposed to be played. Instead of learning recoil control, positioning, movement, and decision-making, they start relying on temporary mechanics. Then, when the collaboration ends and those abilities are gone, many players realize they haven't actually improved as much as they thought. Another thing that concerns me is the direction the game seems to be taking. Every season brings more collaborations, more Evo skins, more Eternal skins, and more premium content. I'm not saying the developers shouldn't make money. Bloodstrike is a free-to-play game, and of course, it needs revenue to keep growing. The problem is that it feels like most of the effort is being put into collaborations and cosmetic content, while gameplay issues remain largely unchanged. For months, the community has been talking about balance, matchmaking, optimization, and the overall gameplay experience. Yet, with almost every update, what we see are new skins and new events. From a player's perspective, it feels like the priorities have shifted. Instead of focusing on improving the core gameplay experience, the focus seems to be on the next collaboration and the next bundle in the store. That's why so many players are starting to ask questions. Are the developers really listening to community feedback? Are these decisions being made because they're good for the game or simply because they're more profitable? I still want to believe Bloodstrike has a bright future. I genuinely enjoy this game, and that's exactly why I'm making this video. If I didn't care, I probably wouldn't even be talking about these issues. I'm criticizing the game because I want to see it become better, not because I want to see it fail. I don't think the solution is to remove collaborations completely. Collaborations can be exciting and bring new players into the game when they're done right. They can make each season feel fresh and unique, but the abilities they introduce need to be balanced. They should complement the gameplay, not take it over. A skill-based game should reward better aim, smarter positioning, stronger decision-making, and overall player skill, not whoever happens to have the strongest event ability. I sincerely hope the developers pay closer attention to community feedback in future updates. I don't think it's too late. The game still has a strong player base, and there are plenty of people who want to see it move in the right direction. But if these issues continue to be ignored, there's a real risk that more and more players will eventually walk away. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think these collaborations make the game more fun, or do they hurt its competitive side? Let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree with my points. I'm genuinely interested in hearing different opinions about the future of Bloodstrike. Bye.